Right. So, sir, what does it take to be an innovator?
Oh yeah, a very nice question. In fact, this is the gist of the today's talk, I would say. Uh, we have understood actually what is creativity and what is innovation.
Right.
Creativity is a sort of a mindset or developed thing. Uh, it's a habit of lateral thinking.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, find out alternatives, find out ideas, and it is done by the right part of the brain. We
Mm-hmm.
must understand that. Left part of the brain is a hard disk, and right part of the brain is creative part.
Right.
And how to nurture creativity is
Mm-hmm.
by giving exercises or abilities to our right part of the brain, which people forget.
Mm-hmm.
To use your right part of the brain, you must have a power of imagination, thinking in air, uh, and for that, there are tools like solve puzzles, read
Mm-hmm.
books. When
Right.
you're reading books, it is in front of your mind. The creative picture is created, which is absolutely zero creativity when you're watching a TV because
Mm-hmm.
everything is in front of you. So these habits must be there. Then you do brainstorming.
Mm-hmm.
Brainstorming with your alone brain and brain of say 10, 20 people together working on a problem
Mm-hmm.
gives you a lot of ideas. An excellent tool which we use during brainstorming. I was giving you that example earlier, how to fix a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So a fixing is fixing by screw, by rivet, by gluing, by plastic, by click fitting, by welding, by shrink fit. There
So
are
many
100
different ways.
methods. So this is typically a brainstorming. And but a basic need of curiosity is definitely there. We
Mm-hmm.
must also understand before we talk about innovation what is the difference between information and knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
especially in today's world where people are feeling that with a click of the button I get information about from Google, so
Mm-hmm.
I am knowledgeable. No,
Mm-hmm.
you have information, but you must digest that information. You must understand. You must ask questions. You
Mm-hmm.
must be able to brief it down. You must be able to do experiments. You must be able to make something out of it. You must be able to teach it to others. That is knowledge. So
True.
information to knowledge is very, very important. And you, of course, require skills. Now, innovators may not be just creating person, no? Because
Mm-hmm.
one thing, it's a team of innovators. So
True.
some people have creative ability, some have analytical ability, and some have the practical ability, implementation ability.
Mm-hmm.
So all the three together make an innovation.
Mm-hmm.
Initiative is required. Of course, you require also a network. Uh, you
True.
alone cannot work, and in network gives you a lot of ideas.
Mm.
So update on technology and network is required. Innovation can be incremental or breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
In our example, of course, I am repeating Philips example because they are very handy to me and people know the products. But in cassette, we had a C60, C90 cassette, then we had a Chrome cassette,
Yes.
then we had developed a timer cassette, 5 minutes cassette, 10-minute
Yeah.
cassette.
Mm-hmm.
We had a cleaning cassette. So all these were improvements, and we were doing it. But a breakthrough came when cassette got stopped and a CD came.
CD cam. Yeah.
Now, yeah, that's a breakthrough improvement, and breakthrough improvement comes in every product. And imagine it, the breakthrough has come in mobile, the breakthrough is coming in car. So incremental improvement comes through Kaizen, your small improvements you are doing inside. But a breakthrough takes your business to a different level. Of course, one thing is there, Walkman developed by Akio Morita or a car developed first by Ford. Ford always quotes, and I like that statement. Ford said, I did not listen to customers. If I had asked people, what do you want? They would have said, we want fast horses. And he would not have developed a car. So this is typically innovation. So innovation are again, Bhiman, four types. It's not only product that is innovated. Product, you can of course make a product that people need, or you can make a product which is not existing and make people need that product later on.
True.
So make product that people need or make people need that product are two different elements.
Yeah.
You have features, you have segmentation, you have addition, but innovation comes also in a process. You improve your process. Very nice example is initial two manual washing machine of Videocon,
Mm.
two tumbler dryer, and this machine was sold maximum in Punjab because those people were using it for lassi making and food processing. So this is typically. We had one. I want to give. There are many examples, but I would give you one example of
Yeah.
our competitor, Santosh, a small brand used to compete with us in certain segments. That person had a very nice logistic chain.
Mhm.
We have a logistic like we dump our sets to a store, taken by truck to different depots, depots to retailers.
Mhm.
All these logistics we have. He used to bring his sets made in Delhi. Used to put in a set one bogie, all
Mhm.
radios. Used to travel by passenger train from Delhi to Bombay. On the way, every station used to unload packages to give to his dealers.
Mhm.
Very cheap, very convenient way of this is process innovation.
Mhm.
So our even our vaccination is a process innovation
Right.
from what AstraZeneca started and what we did.
Right.
You can also have innovation, but of course in process innovation, automation is not necessarily a process innovation. It's a step.
Mhm.
There can be a business model innovation. You can outsource things, you can go to franchise. A lot of ideas can come. There can be a marketing innovation.
Mhm.
It's coming out of the digital world to us. And also, don't forget, there is a value innovation.
True.
The customer sees value as function upon cost. So, cost
Mm.
is in the denominator.
Right.
So, if you reduce cost, you increase the value. And
Yeah.
if you add some features at the same cost, it is also a value innovation.
Right. And
So, these are the
that's where the viability comes in picture.
exactly. You're right. So updation comes there. So
Right.
that's how Innovator is a
Right.
canvas of innovation.
Yeah. So sir, we talked a lot about product development. Innovation is not just limited to creating a new product or developing a new method. Innovations are also happening in business arena. For example, a couple of decades back, no one thought about e-commerce. No one thought about Facebook. No one thought about driverless cars, but they are becoming a reality now, or some of them have already become a reality. Riding on the back of technology, where do you see the world is going now?
It's a difficult question to answer because uh, the future, when you say future, what future? Because it is exponentially growing, not linearly.
Yeah.
So, true. If I look back, the communication world is changing. Facebook, WhatsApp, Insta, Twitter, the media is coming in picture. The way of business is changed by Amazon, Uber, Airbnb. So all these parameters taken together, and whatever you said, technology like AI, data, robotics, Internet of Things, drones, sensors are all coming in. Industry 4.0, nano, 3D printing, and also you mentioned electric vehicles. Now,
Mhm.
this is technology. It is
Mhm.
it is just going in this fashion. Let us look at industry. So what I try to see, as an innovator, let us look at industry also. I take a sample of some few industries, like say manufacturing, agro, bio, where pharma, medical all together, education, entertainment, space, defense, and finance. Now, all about technology, can you marry with some of these businesses? You can be an innovator. Like, drone is more seen today as a defense equipment or seen by say agro. But can drone work for something else? Can 3D printing work for surgery? I mean, you have to marry, and that is typically a morphology method where you pick up a technology and you try to look for what for your. If you try to marry these, a lot of innovation could be made very. So in future world, what I feel, women for our country, more MSMEs will come up
Mm.
because the big houses will outsource design because
Mm.
technology is available. So
True.
MSMEs, I feel, will have a better chance to do business, especially uh, the medium scale industries.
Mhm.
Design will become configurative. It will not be going to basics or fundamentals. It
Mhm.
will pick up this feature from here. So add and subtract this type of designs will come, which we are seeing in a mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
So modules will be there. Design will be done by teams, not by individuals. So, which I explained early.
Right.
But still, I feel agro and bio, these two people will require a deep research. Not conventional methods will work for them.
Mm-hmm.
And but on the other side, another question also I have asked, lot of information, lot of new processes coming. But is it not putting up a lot of stress on us? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Unnecessary information pouring in, but we can discuss it later also.
Right, right. Sir, you mentioned about making constructive use of some of the technologies, some of the products or innovations which are already in place. For example, you mentioned about whether we can use drone, for constructive pursuits. Today probably it is mostly used by the armies. And that can be easily termed as a negative pursuit, or not so constructive pursuit. As a veteran, do you see any negatives of flip side of some of the innovations that has become unfortunately the part of our lives?
I mean, this is where it gives a lot of tension to innovator that where you use innovation for mankind and nature preservation or you use for negative things. And
Right,
mm, uh, addiction is one thing which is happening,
right.
and that is at the brain level. It is a very serious problem
Hmm.
because you get addicted in games, you by movies, media, porno, where not,
Yeah.
and where we, because technology, Biman, I think what we are doing is we're going away from nature. We are going, we're damaging the nature, the animal planet, everything, and plastics, 5G coming in. All
Hmm.
these things are detrimental.
True.
So, but one good thing is I also see positively during the Corona period. Uh, City children had access to internet and their education was continuing.
Hmm.
But see the news coming from villages, how they tried to do it.
Hmm.
Some Grama Sevak was putting the whole study in a village on a speaker.
Hmm.
They were painting walls with a lot of text.
Yeah.
The one girl, knowing the mobile, she used to conduct class by just taking the phone network.
Hmm.
These are some positive things, and I feel the person like Disley,
Hmm.
he took the teacher who got an award. He used the technology very positively. So those then our lifestyle has also changed from meeting people who are just uh, on a digital platform, and because of over informing, I feel we are more stressed,
Hmm.
and brain is becoming non-creative, which I
Hmm.
explained you earlier, that
Right.
brain has to do something. Uh,
Hmm.
Physical activities are reducing. Is technology for poor people or for rich people? I don't know.
Hmm.
Uh, and what you said is very right. Technology is available to negative thinkers also. I mean, sometimes they are ahead of us.
Yeah.
Hackers, for
Yeah.
example, the militants, the e-crime makers, they use technology in a different fashion. So, but I think, Biman, to answer your question, let us look at Alfred Nobel's story. Nobel is the one who gives prizes for research and
Right.
peace and all those things, innovation, and is a great awardee. Uh, Nobel initially invented dynamite. He was the first one. He was a
Right.
chemist, invented dynamite and demolition uh, for civil construction, but it was used for destruction, war, and but all said and done, he minted money.
Right.
A news came in France about death of Nobel
Hmm.
because his brother had died, but the
Hmm.
news item came, Alfred Nobel has died. And
Hmm.
it mentioned below after the news, it's a good news for all the mankind because a destructor of human nature, a cruel person has died and we are very happy about it. When Nobel read about this, he was he was shocked, and he never he just said, as you right said, the flip side of it, he saw it,
Hmm.
and then he changed his mind, and rest of his all wealth he donated for better of the mankind. I
Right.
think it's a learning from
Hmm.
for all of us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sir, you mentioned about the need for innovations in agri and bio area, and India being the agricultural country. Let's try to look at some aspects related to our country. I was reading Bloomberg's Global Innovation Index, and India ranked 50th among 131 leading economies, which on one hand is a jump of 4 steps compared to the previous study, but I feel it is still not good enough on the other hand. Given the kind of potential that we have, the population, and the largest working age group in our country, what should be done to improve this situation so that we rank much higher in these studies?
Yeah, it's bringing down the innovation and creativity on a positive side is a very slow process, but I think we should do. India is typically a mixture of technology and bullock cart.
Mhm.
Both live together in a country like ours.
Right.
We have villages and we have a nice lifestyle. So India is divided into India and Bharat, as they say. So I personally feel whatever Mahatma Gandhi started, Gramodyog, was a very nice way that let people remain in their villages, in towns, and they get occupation and money enough not to migrate to cities. I personally feel we should have done smart villages than smart city campaign. Smart villages would have been better. Another term which I wanted to share with you, Biman, is appropriate technology.
Mhm.
Technology we can take, but you need to take appropriate technology that is suitable for you.
Mhm.
And I really honor the jugards. The jugard, we make fun of it, but with available technology, they try to innovate something. And if our engineers just improve that jugard, they have a product with them.
Mhm.
So technology must improve poverty. That's what I feel. And main reason for it is our education system, Biman.
Right.
The energy is with young people. When I go to colleges and meet students, I see so much of energy available with them. And where they are wasting their energy in mugging up, in book learning, no application, no skills. So the whole education system has to go down to a project base. Of course, I'm theoretical talking, but I talk to many students about it that please dirty your hands first. People
True.
ask a lot of career advices that what should I do? I have done BSc now. Should I go for engineering? Should
Mhm.
I go for MBA? Should I do this? And students are going for MPSC and UPSC exams, competitive exams. They want to become collector. Thousands and thousands of them, not even 1% go through, and
Mm.
rest of them have trained their brain to become a what you call useless brain. So I think we must motivate students right from their and Biman, we trigger entrepreneur. You also are doing a lot of things in going to schools and colleges to talk about entrepreneurship. That should actually improve. We
Mm.
must the initiatives coming like self-help groups, Atmanirbhar, Startup India. These are very nice things,
Mhm.
and uh, I think I have some good hopes for development. Process is slow, but if I adapt a new education policy, I think things will improve.
Okay. I think these particular answer of yours, is going to be a lot of food for thought for the upcoming entrepreneurs, young generation, and of course the students. And you also keep talking to a lot of students. Innovation. Coming back to our topic of innovation, which requires a curious and agile mind, which is of course true. But are there any tools and techniques to nurture the innovation, to support innovation?
Yes, true, Biman. Actually, though I talked about creativity as a conceptual or in a jargon
Hmm.
manner, creativity is not God gift, but creativity can be cultivated. It can
Hmm.
be just as we said one ambience. There
Hmm.
are tools, and tools and techniques always improve our efficiency. So tools and techniques are required. But remember one thing, you should have a basic curiosity and inquisitiveness and passion to do something.
Hmm.
Because even if I give you tool, with a tool, fool will still remain a fool only.
Hmm.
So the tool has to be used, but there are beautiful tools, and I run through the list of those tools. It will look like I'm trying to show off, but no, I've used all those tools, and they help quite a lot, and I will be able to share with your audience people whosoever wants to know about tools through your forum. I will be able to share. Brainstorming
Right.
is one tool which is structured well, can give fantastic results.
Right.
Yeah, I made one brainstorming of when corona patients were coming. What is my logic of finding out reducing? So I made a Ishikawa diagram, but nobody looked at it.
Mhm.
Mind mapping, prototyping, these are forms. And believe me, a reverse brainstorming also many times is important. Instead of taking a problem, you quote the problem in a reverse fashion. And human brain starts working at times more creatively on a negative problem.
Yeah. On a reverse,
Kaizen is one,
yeah,
yeah,
a reverse thinking method.
reverse thinking method. Sometimes, what our opposition party does is something like that.
Right.
So,
Okay.
uh, Kaizen is one
Yes.
tool, formalized.
Yeah.
Uh, Suggestion scheme, I told, is
Mhm.
also a tool. It can be very well structured in an organization. Scamper is a tool which I wanted to talk. See, we talked a lot about innovation, but
Mhm.
we did not talk about product.
Mhm.
Now, suppose if you have product, how you make business out of it? And the tool Scamper is very useful. It
Mhm.
is a short form of how you convert a product. You substitute a product, you copy a product, you adapt a product, you modify a product, amplify or minify, you put the product to new use, you eliminate few features. These are the ways in which businessmen are fooling us and giving us the same product. So
True.
we should be also able to. So
Mhm.
Scamper is a nice tool. Morphology is a beautiful tool
Mhm.
where almost a one-day workshop can be taken that you break down your product into different sub-assemblies or elements.
Mhm.
And for each element, you have alternative. So you make clusters of those alternatives and you come with thousands of products, each product for each segment. Roadmap and benchmarking, they are proactive tools to tell you what's coming on the horizon. Value analysis is another nice tool. Metrics is a thinking tool with
Mhm.
two corollaries and two opposite statements. It aligns your thinking, like urgent and important things, how to sort them for
Mhm.
time management, quality function deployment, and all said and done. Innovator is also a problem solver. We should not forget that,
Right.
because problem solving is also a technique of innovation.
Right.
So these are some of the tools I just
Oh,
wanted to touch.
yeah, yeah. That's quite a long list of tools, and I'm sure I'll get those details, and when I upload this particular clipping on YouTube, I'm going to list down those tools as well. I'll get a list from you.
Very well.
This brings me to the last question of our discussion today. Uh, Again, I'm coming back to you as an innovator. So typically, innovators, sometimes they face a lot of resistance. Apart from battling with the naysayers, people who don't believe in innovation, or people who are not really able to build that kind of trust. So I call them naysayers. Uh, Apart from that, an innovator also has to be a very strong believer in themselves. In other words, a lot of self motivation is also required. What will be your message to them, and especially to the young generation who is probably listening to this conversation?
Yeah, very nice question and a nice winding up of our session, Biman, because uh, you one has to believe in himself.
Mhm.
Just as you said, naysayers or the ambience is not suitable, does not stop your creativity. Uh, Apart from job, you can be always creative in other areas. So, but believe in yourself and believe. I'm telling you that I experience with people. Every person the God has made different,
True.
and you must every day tell yourself that I am different and I'm going to excel. And I think all the flying entrepreneurs have this particular determination. And use SWOT analysis tool for yourself: strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Do your own SWOT analysis. Start with what you have. You must start, Biman. If you think of ifs and buts initially, you will never start. So start with what you have. This is typically message of Carver, which is very very useful. And it says start with what you have, make something out of it, and never be satisfied. That means keep on keep on doing. Dirty your hands, uh, and doing is motivation. Actually,
Right.
doing is innovation rather. Not innovation is thinking and oh मेरे पास बहुत ideas है यार but क्या करते हो? So doing is innovation. Uh, Digital literacy is useful, networking, inquisitiveness, and think of how can I be different than others? How can I be different than how can my process be different than others? And for that, Biman, what I find very simple tool available to you is newspaper. Read newspaper for headlines, keep it aside in 10 minutes. During the day, go to details of newspaper and find out what are the innovative things there, who have done new things, what are the problems, where I can contribute.
Wow.
So newspaper is a very useful tool and nothing stops you. Earn while you learn, or you can do a business while you do a job. Why not? And sell something.
Right.
Selling gives you a typical, and you are a top person on negotiations and selling and all these skills. So you have understood selling something confirms that you are innovator. So I think this is the message of mine, that don't be afraid. And the future of our country is fantastic. I tell you, uh, statistics on one side, but look at all positives, and our country is definitely going to be one of baggages with all the poverties, everything taken together. Everybody is going to be happy. I'm sure about it, Viman. And thank you very much for giving me opportunity to speak out about my topic of interest, and I'm very happy. Thank you very much.
It was very insightful, very useful, and I'm sure now it is a message to the audience. Those who are listening to this conversation, I'm sure it's not just an inspiration or a positive dose that you may have gotten. uh, uh, Shrirang Gokhale sir is always believing in inspiring the younger generation. He is by age he's of course very old compared to all of us, but the kind of energy and the enthusiasm that he brings on the table, I have seen him personally. I had a fortune of witnessing him on many of the occasions. So you please do benefit from Mr. Gokhale. Uh, he can also be a very good coach when it comes to innovation. And innovation, for you to be an innovator, you don't have to really wear a hat of an innovator. It can happen in anything that you do in your personal or professional life. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you are running a business, if you are a student, even if you are a professional working in any function, let's say, you don't have to be really necessarily in R&D function only. Like sir has just mentioned that the function like sales and marketing also requires an innovation. So if you really want to systematically approach to innovation or to do something different, to make a positive difference, you can always rely on Shrirang Gokhale sir. He is all available. I'm going to display his contact information also in the comment, so you can benefit from that. And sir is always happy. I don't have to even take his permission to display his contact number, because he's that kind of person to be available to everybody. Sir, thank you so much. Like I said, it was very insightful, very inspiring. It was really beyond my expectations. When I talked about or thought about this topic, I thought of having a general discussion about innovation, but you have thrown so many different revealed so many different dimensions, and I'm sure the audience is going to be very lucky. Thank you so much. Bye for now.